Hello and welcome guys. So let's continue. What I will do in this lecture is let's just select both of the reference images first, press M and move them to a new collection and name this as reference images. Hit OK and we can just turn this collection off now from over here. Now select all of the guitar and again press M and move this to a new collection and rename this to guitar. So basically what we will be doing is we will be applying all the modifiers. So when we apply all the modifiers, we cannot really make any changes to those modifiers. Like for example, right now we can change the things like the bevel amount of any of the modifiers that we have added or anything that we want to do. But if we apply this modifier, you will notice we cannot really change the bevel amount now as it is permanent. So make sure you are happy with your modifiers and everything. So what I want to do is I just want to create a duplicate of this guitar so that if things go wrong in the future, we always have like a non-applied modifier version of our model. So yeah, what I will basically do now is just press A to select everything, then press Shift plus D to duplicate it, then hit right click to place it exactly over here. And now again press M and move this to a new collection and rename this to guitar in brackets right applied. Hit OK. And basically now we have two different guitar models. One will be the not applied version. We can rename this to not applied. That means the modifiers are not applied for this, and the other one is the applied version. So let's enable the applied one and we will apply all the modifiers now. Alright, before applying them, one thing that I want you guys to check is go over here and enable face orientation and make sure everything is like this dark blue color and nothing really is red color. If you see something like this, let's just create a new object and I will quickly show you. If you see any of the objects with this red color, make sure to fix this because this means that the normals are flipped, and if you export it like this only to Substance Painter, everything would look inside out. So if any of your objects, like let's say, I will just quickly do one of them. Like let's say this object is appearing like this. It can be any object, but I'm just showing by example. So what you basically need to do is just select it, press tab, press A to select everything, then just press Shift plus N. And as soon as you do that, the normals would be recalculated and it would be fine. So yeah, just quickly do that for any of the objects if there are any. Alright, so let's disable this for applying the modifiers. We don't really have to go in like each and every single object and just select apply from over here because that would be too long. We can just press A to select everything, then type in F3 and search for the command convert to mesh from here. And yeah, basically if you select any object now, you will see now all the modifiers are applied and we cannot really make any changes to our model. So now it's time to add the material to this. So go over here, select any of the object, come down to this tab over here and add a new material. Rename this to guitar. And now to copy this material to all the objects, what you basically need to do is just select this piece, this object which has the material added. Then press A, make sure this is the active selection. Then press Ctrl L and link materials. And yeah, you can see 30 is written over here. That means this material is being used by 30 different objects now. So yeah, it is copied successfully. Another thing that I will do is I will press tab, and if you remember, we created these little strips. Hold Alt and select them both. Hold Shift and Alt and select them both. Then press P and separate the selection like this, just so they are like a different object. This way it would be easier for us to add the material in Substance Painter. Alright, so now move on to UV editing. So it is pretty simple and straightforward. We will directly use Smart UV Project. So what you basically need to do is first press A to select everything. Then make sure to press Ctrl A and apply the scale, because applying the scale is important with UVs. Now press tab, press again A to select everything, and then just press U and hit Smart UV Project from over here. And you will see as soon as you hit OK over here, the UVs are here. You can enable this and enable display stretch from over here. You can adjust things like the margin and the angle limit from over here. Sorry, I accidentally undid this. Yeah, you can adjust the margin and the angle limit. If you decrease the angle limit, the UVs would be like much smaller. Let's set this back to 66 only, because right now the UVs are not done. I just quickly want to show you another thing. For these things over here, for all these cables, these ones. I want to manually unwrap them and not use Smart UV project, because when I was testing things, they were really causing problems with the Smart UV project. So I will quickly show you how we can UV unwrap them manually. So just select them all these cables, then press Ctrl J to join them together. Let's press slash to go into the isolation mode. And basically what you need to do is just press tab and press 2 for edge select and select one edge like this. So hold shift and alt and keep on selecting one edge from each one of the cables like this. And then select one edge like vertically. So one edge horizontally and another one vertically like this. Then right click and select mark seam and then just press A, press U, and instead of Smart UV project, this time hit unwrap. And you will notice now the UVs are much better as they are straight, so they won't give us that many issues. You can adjust the margin. Alright, let's press slash to come out of the edit mode. And now basically what we want to do is, I will hide this, press A to select everything except the cables, then press tab, again press A, press U and hit Smart UV project this time. Alright, now we have two different UV islands. You will notice one is this one and the other one is these cables, as these are like two different UV maps and we want to combine them into single one. If you press A to select everything, then press tab, you can see these are like overlapping over here. So how we can do that? It is like really easy. Just select them both, then press tab and press A to select everything. Then you can go to the UV menu over here and select average island scale first and then select pack islands from over here. As soon as you do that, you can see they are now packed perfectly. Open up this window and give it a little bit of margin. So something like 0.006. And yeah, now the UVs are perfect. So you have learned now you can like manually unwrap a couple of objects and automatically unwrap some of them. And now you have learned like how you can just manually unwrap one object and automatically unwrap rest of them. And then you can combine those two maps into a single UV map only by using these two commands over here, average island and pack islands. Alright, so the UV unwrapping is done now. I will come back to layout, hit save. And now to export this to Substance Painter, just press A to select everything. Go over to File, Export and hit FBX. And now in this folder over here, in the exports folder, let's name it as guitar only. Make sure to limit to selected objects. This way only the selected objects will get exported. So make sure you select everything before exporting. So just press A to select everything and then export. And also make sure to select mesh from over here. This way none of the extra objects like the cameras or the lights, anything won't get exported. Only the meshes would get exported. Now hit export and it is done now. You can quickly open up Substance Painter again. Alright, so now in Substance Painter, let's close this, go to File and create a new project. Now in the File section, click Select and let's come back to our folder, Exports folder and select this guitar file. And rest everything can remain just like this only, because all these settings we can change later on. So you don't have to worry about them right now. Just hit OK. And your import is done now. You can quickly look through your guitar for any kind of issues like shading issues or import issues, because sometimes or like most of the times we have like issues. Things look a little bit weird in Substance Painter. Okay, one thing that is not really a shading or anything issue, but we have like a little bit of space over here. We can, let's see, let's just select this and move it downwards like this. But make sure none of the other things are messed up because of this. Yeah, I think everything is pretty good only. So we can press A again, go over to File, Export and quickly export this once again. Hit Export. And yeah, let's quickly go to File, create a new project, select and select this, hit OK. Hit Discard. Yeah, now it's fine. So the very first thing when we do, like whenever we export something into or import something into Substance Painter, we have to bake the mesh maps. because baking the mesh maps is necessary, as it will help us in using like smart masks, smart materials, everything. So go to texture set settings, hit bake mesh maps, and it is like a completely new window for bake mesh maps. You can have like a different window if you have older versions of Substance Painter, but don't worry, it is pretty much the same. You just change the output size from over here. So set this to 4K. You can set this to 2K also if you have like a lower end PC. And yeah, I'll just go for 4K. Enable apply diffusion, use low poly mesh as high poly mesh, and just set the anti-aliasing to something like 16 or 4. And yeah, basically the rest of the settings are good as default only. Just disable ID maps from over here, as we are not really using ID maps. And yeah, rest everything is fine. Now quickly just hit bake selected textures and wait for it to finish. I will just resume the video when everything is done. Alright guys, so the baking is done now. Just hit return to painting mode, and you can see our model already looks much better as the bake is done now. We can see all the nice ambient occlusion and everything. Quickly look for your model, like check it out if there are any bake issues. But I don't think there are any. I will also go over here in the display settings and make sure to enable temporal anti-aliasing. As you can see, all these jagged edges, if you enable this, many of them would be reduced and the model looks much better now. Alright, let's just, before proceeding, hit save on our Substance Painter file and save it over here in this folder. Let's rename this to guitar. And yeah, let's just hit save. And I think this much is pretty much it for this video. In the next video, we'll start texturing our guitar model. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one.